Well, good evening, my friends, on Friday, January 3rd, 2025. Woof! It's the first time I've said that out loud. 2025, here we are. Big deal, right? It's a quarter century into 2020s or the 2000s, right? I was born in 1975, so this will be my 50th year on this planet. And, the other day, I almost cut my hair. It happened just the other day. I figured that would be the title for this video. Not sure if I actually decided to use it or not. That's a line from a song, and anybody who knows that song knows it's it's funny because the rest of it is it's basically I almost cut my hair. It happened just the other day. It's getting kind of long. I could have said it wasn't my way, but I didn't. And I wonder why. I think that's how it goes. I feel letting my freak flag fly. And it's all about the whole idea of thinking about cutting your hair. But I'm not going to go into that. It brings me into many other songs like Signs, where he puts his hair under his hat and lets it down, right? So long hair has always been kind of a controversial thing for guys. Not so much these days. It really means nothing. It's just a choice, right? But even when I was a kid in the 90s, it wasn't such a popular thing. It was, oh, you're one of those guys, the rebels, which I guess that didn't really change, but, if you had long hair, it meant you've dedicated yourself to getting long hair. Your parents allowed you to have long hair, and you generally since you dedicated that time, you get respect from other long hairs, right? So I started growing my hair out. I had a rat tail when I was in junior high, and then that advanced to a mullet through like freshman year in high school, and then I gradually grew all of my hair out, and then through sophomore and senior year, from like 16 to 19, I grew my hair out, and it was probably about as long as it is now. And then one day, it was just not too long after actually Jerry Garcia had died, and I'd been, kind of the hippie type, loving to go out to dead shows and hang out with drum circles, that kind of thing, go to the park, smoke weed, which I still do. But anyway, that was a different time. And I asked my brother's girlfriend one day, Yana, I was just like, all right, just cut my hair because it was getting annoying. I was sick of dealing with it. And there was a point in my life, I was about 19 or 20, and I was like, I want to get out in the world and get a job and be responsible, but I want to be respected. And I knew having long hair would gain me disrespect through employers or potential employers. And I thought about that quite a bit, and that was only part of my decision, but I would say a big part of my decision to just try to be, all right, I'm going to fit in for a while, okay? I met my wife after this, and we've been together ever since. And I had short hair pretty much all the time through our whole, being together. We've been together for 26 years this last New Year's here. So since we met and really started dating, I mean, we got engaged pretty quick and lived together within the first, I think, year and a half, whatever. But I don't, maybe it might have been quicker than that. But uh, ever since we've been together, and I kind of had a brain fart. I forgot what my point there was. What was I talking about? That's that's the new year for you. Um, so okay, talking about New Year. Oh yes, of course. The title of the video. Um, was going to be I almost cut my hair. So yeah, the point I was going to get at was I had pretty short hair from at least say 2000 to the year 2017 or 18. And then one year, I don't know, it just occurred to me, I'm just going to let it grow out. And I did. And I stopped cutting it. And so, yeah, that sounds, maybe it was like 16, 17, but I don't know. It's been growing out for several years, is the point. And this isn't about my hair, but it is, obviously, because I'm going to make here this point. The other day I was going to just chop it all off. I've got a buzzer in there. I had it ready, and I was just going to go whoosh, and my beard and everything. And I thought, no, that's a little hasty. Not because I really don't want to shock random people, although that's possible. Not random people. I mean, if you've never met me and I just had really short hair and a beard, you wouldn't know any different. But I would know anybody who had ever met me, all my friends, family would be like, what the fuck, Because I'd look different. I don't like myself without a beard, okay? Be straight up. I'm insecure without my beard because I have a short chin, in my opinion, and a big nose, so the proportions are wrong. Maybe the chin kind of draws my face down. I don't know. But then I have to keep the sides shorter, or I look too, my face is too wide. But the truth is, overall, as I always say, I just don't care. I don't, I pretend I don't care, but as I've always said, in other words, what I mean when I say I don't care is you shouldn't care how you look if it's what you can't help. So you do the best to, be clean, wear good clothes, and be respectable and look respectable. But that depends on which crowd you're trying to attract. A beard might not be attractable to some people, but let's say you're a Muslim, it's like an essential, right? I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, what if I cut my beard? That's funny. In some religions, that would be like a detachment from your beliefs, which I don't know. Since I've had my hair long and kept a beard for a while, I actually thought about this. I kind of used it as a reminder of divinity. So the hair itself and the beard, whenever I saw it, I would think, okay, so that's my dedication to God, right? My version of God, so I'm not an atheist, obviously, but I'm not religious. So it's, I shouldn't go into my personal beliefs because it doesn't matter here. But at the same time, you don't need to have that as a dedication. You could be anybody. There's fucking Hare Krishnas that are bald, right? Everybody dedicates themselves to their own version of God in their own way, or perhaps not just their own version, but their own God altogether. I mean, there's probably, I'm more of a polytheist than anything. I'm sure that there are multiple gods. I mean, hell, even in the Bible itself, it says, we created man in our image. I mean, I'm reading it right now, so I'm like, I've read this over and over in Genesis, but when you read it again, you're just like, why did they leave that in there? The Council of Nicaea, which, kind of decided which books went in the Bible, and the various translations have been a little sus at best. But anyway, I don't want to diss on anybody's parade or piss on your, beliefs. I definitely want to relate to people more than I want to dismiss what they believe. So, in all respect. But I guess the hair thing doesn't matter. How did I get from hair into religion? I guess it all matters. Because my hair, to me, as kind of a hippie dude, I love going out to like shows and just letting my hair out and just letting it kind of be part of who I am. So maybe the idea of cutting it, shaving, is more of like starting over. You know, it's the new year. The thing is, either I do it tonight, you know, I do it now or soon, or I don't do it at all. And I don't know. Maybe the next time I make a video, I won't have hair. Or maybe I will. Probably will. But really, that's not the point. It's more, change is good. Forced change. When we push ourselves to do new things and look different, it makes us feel different. And when I said that, I thought, well, shit, what about plastic surgery and such? Because I don't support, like, body modifications that could be dangerous for the sake of just feeling like you look better, because so many people get, you know, have eating disorders that get these crazy, wild, like, invasive surgeries to stop it. And there are some cases where that may be something that's important. I'm not saying all people should, you know, deal with these things on a different level, but, oh, you know, the way people modify their faces in Hollywood to look different just blows my mind. Like, when it's so obvious and everybody jokes about it, but it's normalized. You know what I mean? Like, well, it's cool. It's okay. They're celebrities. I have to say, I'm not really down with that. Maybe I'm just too old-fashioned, which is weird. I never thought I'd say that. I always thought I was pretty progressive and change-driven, but I always find myself supporting the old ways that seem... And when you say that, a lot of folks are like, oh yeah, the good old days where there was hatred and racism and slavery and all that. No. That's the good, you know, the good old days, if you will, are very subjective. But when we talk about how things were, you know, this isn't about the worst of it. It's about how people really took the time at one point to think about things. And society's been kind of driven away from one another. Be a beautiful thing if we got along better. But anyway, certain things have improved and some things have gone downhill. And I think we're all just trying to navigate this together. So that's why I make these videos, to just say, hey, I'm with you. We're all people. Welcome. Thanks for listening. And I'm going to go now because I wanted to make a podcast. I have so many freaking, like, video ideas here and notes that these are all the notes of videos that I've been planning to do. Then there's a stack over here, and you know, it's pretty stupid because I don't use them properly. And so I was saying, in 2025, I wanted to say I'm going to start actually telling people my goals instead, because a lot of folks say, well, don't tell people what you're going to do, just do it. And I believed that for a long time, but now I'm like, bullshit, that's what works for you. For me, if I tell the world or even my family or friends that I'm going to do this, then I'm more likely to do it. And I want 2025 to be positive. And I do care that it's a new year and it does matter. And I am a fucking positive, jovial human being. So I'm going to do the best I can. And I hope you do too. And if I come back with a haircut, don't freak out. But, you know, I'd probably panic waking up without it. So what I thought I might do instead, I thought about maybe just cutting it at like shoulder length and doing kind of that half hippie haircut. I could, you know what I'm talking about. Like the half long, but a good half long, because it's good and thick. Like, okay, when you first start growing your hair out and it gets to that length where it's like shoulder length, it's not like all shoulder length. It's only some of it that's shoulder length because the back grows first. Anyway, as it grows all the way down and then you start cutting back up, then you get a nice line on it. So it's a good, you know, like you can tell it's cut well. And I thought about doing that and then trimming my beard down, but my beard's already trimmed down pretty well. But I thought maybe I'd trim it down even more. Or would it even be funnier is to, like, shave way down and then get rid of the mustache. I hate not having a mustache, but I think it'd be kind of funny. Do like a Quaker thing. But who knows? That's all my decision and my fun and excitement. It was like when I was a kid, one of my friends' moms, and they were Mormons. She actually offered me $100 to cut my hair when I was like 16 and had long hair, and I was like, hell no. And I remember that because it's funny. So, if one of you guys wants to give me $1 million, I'll cut my hair. How about that? No, kidding. No, you can't. It's funny. What do you do with $1 million these days? You can barely buy a house. Weird times, but good times and bad times, all wrapped up in one. Anyhow, peace and love. Thanks for watching. I was going to make this a podcast, but I've indulged a little bit this evening and took a couple bong hits, and I don't want to make any promises or any dedicated podcasts while I've been, puffing. So I think it's better for me to just say hi to everybody and talk about my hair instead of trying to make it deep. It's January 3rd, and it's a few days after New Year's. I did make kind of a New Year's video, but I was going to make a new one, and I wanted to make a good podcast. So, as I said, I have all these notes that everything about, these are more, the podcast I want to make is more about, it's about psychedelics, but it's also about the midlife chrysalis and, like, how we need more sacraments available and more rites of passage for the young people, taking them out to the mountains. I've been meaning, I want to take my son, who's just turned 15 recently, a couple months about, 4 months ago. I mean, before you know it, he's going to be fucking 16. So anyway, I want to take him out to the mountains and kind of give him some time away from the city because, all the kids grow up in the city now. And my wife and I have wanted to get a place in the country forever, but I guess COVID really made shit kind of get fucked up, but at the same time, it gave me an opportunity to start a new job soon after when things calmed down, and started picking back up. I don't know, things kind of fell into place, and it was beautiful that during COVID, my wife got a lot of time off, and we were able to go up and just travel with our school bus, go up north and go out to the coast. Not too far, but just camping, we don't spend a bunch of money. We're pretty damn frugal, honestly, overall. We save as much as we possibly can, so. Because we want to save for the place we want. So if we can sell the house we're in here, then we could maybe afford the place that we want. Or if we get that $1 million donation, I know it's coming. My wife and I joked, she's talking about finding that briefcase full of cash, or suitcase full of cash, and I reminded her that the briefcase is mine. I decided it before, and she's like, everybody wanted the briefcase. It's like, you don't get the chance. It was funny. Yeah, it's true. Everybody at some time in their life has thought about finding a briefcase full of cash. It's just like, well, that might give me a start. So then we talked about how much $1 million would be, whether it would fit. And then I informed her it would be around 40 pounds. I can't remember exactly what I said. I did the math in my head. I think it was pretty correct. If it was $100 bills, it'd be around 40 pounds or something. I don't know. But it made sense. I was like, oh, that sounds about right. But I'm pretty good at math when I'm on the spot, but not when I'm making a video. So anyway, that's all I got for today. I just wanted to say hello for the 3rd of July. Thanks for watching my channel. If you made it this far, then you're probably one of my more dedicated subscribers, because I understand why a lot of people don't want to watch all of the video. I just feel like each video has something for someone somewhere in it. And that's not from some arrogant place. It's just that we are all one. Like, you and I are the same person, but we're individuals. I mean, it's the opposite of ego. It's that I really care about other people. I sound confrontational sometimes and get frustrated, maybe, at least the way it appears. But as I said, I'm a pretty jovial person. I honestly don't really get angry very often. Unfortunately, even when I should get angry, I don't. I can play angry, but I usually keep a pretty calm demeanor. Sometimes I don't. So we're all, we all have our limits. But I just wanted to say thank you to all my subscribers and all the people who have contributed through Patreon for the years. Even the people who, were patrons for a little while and then weren't. It's fine. I love you. Everybody who's, PayPal, or a few people gave me donations through Buy Me a Coffee. I think Irish Guy, thank you. I really appreciate your donation. Irish Guy, he does a recovery YouTube channel. So if any of you are into, recovery, I believe alcohol mostly, but I'm not sure of the full details. But he has a YouTube channel, Irish Guy 76. God, I can't remember. I'll, try to put the link or comment and you'll see Irish Guy. But he's a really good guy. And everybody needs support when they're trying to quit something or when they're trying to overcome an addiction. Like, am I my brother's keeper? It's so funny that came up the other day because I read it when I was, as I said, reading the Bible, and it was the part of, about, God asking Cain where Abel was. He's like, I don't know, am I my brother's keeper? But it's a term people use in so many different ways. But that is the question, maybe, how much do we have to keep an eye on each other? Not just our brothers, but our everybody. Our sisters, our mothers, our cousins, our strangers, and then our neighbors. Because ultimately, a lot would say neighborhood, local community. The way you treat your neighbors is the first and foremost, most important thing. I think I'm pretty good with my neighbors. I hope so. I'm always nice to them. But I don't run around introducing myself to everyone and being overly kind. But I'm always patient and kind. Even with the guy behind me that shoots squirrels, across the fence, like towards my house. I don't know. I guess I am pretty cool with neighbors. So, hey, if that's godliness, so be it. Anyway, much love to you all, and I will talk to you next time. I doubt any of you who are watching are new to the channel because, this is me just rambling for a while. But if you are new to the channel and you've enjoyed it, I also have a podcast called 15-Minute Free Thinking. And I also have the Patreon, which is Carpo719, just like the channel. And the Buy Me a Coffee thing. I have extras on my Patreon channel, different uploads, links. If I make a YouTube video where I feel like maybe I don't know, I was a little too animated or got into things that maybe I shouldn't have talked about, sometimes I'll just make it unlisted and then post it on Patreon. So there are a few on there that aren't elsewhere, but also more of my herbal and psychedelic videos are on there. So with that said, cheers, much love to y'all, and I'll see you next time. Be well. Peace.